If I were to ask you, what do you think the key to optimum health and longevity is?
Digestion. Your spine.
Your spine, okay.
Command of self.
Command of self.
Good food, thinking good thoughts, living a good life.
All right, great. 3 different studies have showed the same thing. One of them we're going to talk about tonight is from Harvard. It's called the Grant Study. It's an 85-year study that examined people that lived long, healthy lives and what they all had in common. And then National Geographic actually took it and took it a step further, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. It's not what any of you said.
Oh, good.
We can learn something.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I like that.
I was quite surprised as well. Let's talk about this. What is health and wellness? We talk about what gives you health and wellness. We said digestion and the spine and command of self. But if you do those things and you have health and wellness, what is that?
Peace.
Peace.
That's exactly what I said in my head.
Peace.
Exactly, peace.
Being able to thrive and live your life freely the way you choose. Flexibility, fulfillment, vitality.
Yes.
Yeah,
What do you say?
Yeah, I guess the freedom to do what I want, when I want, have the health and well-being to do that, and to do what lights up my heart.
And the response to that question, you're all right.
You're all right.
This is the best definition I found, and it's actually from the World Health Organization. Health's a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. And the ability to adapt and to self-manage in the face of social, physical, and emotional challenges. And the work that I do in this office, it's about giving people all of that. But that's still not what the study found is the key to optimum health and wellness and longevity. The Harvard study found in examining hundreds and hundreds of people, they looked at diet. They looked at whether they smoked or drank or not, whether they meditated, whether they exercised. They looked at all aspects of life and what did these people that had really healthy, long lives all have in common. And the only thing that they found was that they enjoyed their life.
Yes.
Whether they ate crappy or not didn't really matter.
Wow.
All the things we do didn't really matter. If they enjoyed their life, they lived long, healthy lives. So it's all about whatever you're doing to enjoy it. National Geographic took it a step further, and this is really cool. They went and researched where in the world do people consistently live into their 90s, 100s, and beyond in a happy, healthy way. And they found 7 communities around the world. One was in northern Canada. There was an Italian community somewhere in the middle of Italy. There was something in South America. And they found all in Asia. They found these 7 communities where the people consistently, and they looked at exercise, diet, whether they smoked or not, whether they drank or not, and they found the same thing. These people enjoyed their lives. But they found there were 3 things specifically that these communities has in common that helped them to enjoy their life. And the first was that they had healthy, loving relationships. The second one was that they had a fulfilling career. They loved their work. And they felt like they were on purpose and they were fulfilled in their life. And the last, the community, all the people kind of worked in a community. It wasn't just one guy here and one guy here. They all worked together for that village. So we're looking in the wrong place and running to the wrong place to find health and longevity, running to the doctors, running to, I got to change my diet and I got to start this exercise program. What we really need to do is how can I have more love in my life? How can I enjoy my life more? If my work's not fulfilling, how can I find work that's fulfilling or make my work more fulfilling for me? And how can I give back to the community? Now, I am a chiropractor, and my goal is to help people achieve that in their life, to have that emotional, mental, and social well-being and be more adaptable to stress. And the next 2 studies I'm going to show you revolve around chiropractic because they add to this. The 7-year study showed that patients whose primary physician was a chiropractor, 60% less hospital admissions than those whose primary physician was a medical doctor. 59% less days in the hospital, 62% less outpatient surgeries, and this last one is a huge one, 85% less pharmaceutical costs. That's huge. Why isn't everybody under chiropractic care? Not because they have headaches or back pain or any of that, just because if you're under chiropractic care, you don't need to be on medicine, you don't have to go to the hospital as often. And why is that? Because as chiropractors, we deal with the nervous system, and the nervous system controls everything else. It controls our immune system, it controls our hormones, it controls the way we perceive the world and the way we react to the world. If you keep that nervous system healthy, you're healthy, and you're more adaptive to stresses. And I practice something called network spinal, which you've all experienced. This is the last study I want to talk about tonight. It's a retrospective assessment of network care using a survey of self-related health, wellness, and quality of life. So what they did was they took 2,800 people under network care and watched them over months and interviewed them along the way about their experience. I think the whole study took about 5 years to do the whole thing. And they looked at 4 major things in their lives: physical well-being, how they felt in their bodies; mental emotional well-being, there's that life enjoyment; and how well they dealt with stress. So first they looked at people that were doing healthy lifestyle, which included health practices like exercise and yoga, risk reduction, not smoking, not drinking, doing things like that, and nutritional choices. What they found, if somebody did exercise and did healthy nutrition and did all the things that they say you need to do to be healthy, over time they saw a 22% increase in their overall health and wellness. So if you do a healthy diet and you're not having one, and you start an exercise program, you can expect about a 22% improvement in your health and wellness by doing that. When somebody started network care and didn't do any of these things, they saw a 43% improvement in their overall health and wellness, in contrast to those who just changed their diet and exercised. It's pretty huge.
Yeah.
Now this is where it really becomes amazing. If somebody started network care and they improved their diet and they started exercising and started doing those things, they had a 65% improvement in their overall health and wellness. And what does that mean? Physical wellness was better, the mental emotional, they were dealing with stress better, and they had more life enjoyment. So network isn't a substitute for these health changes. It's not a substitute for eating right and meditating and exercising. You will get 3 times the benefit of those things once you start network care. Why? Because the nervous system controls everything else. And if you're stuck in a stress response, you're not going to get the full benefit of those other things. It's pretty amazing. People start making healthier choices once their spine starts getting healthier.
Do you think that has to do with people just innately feel what's right for them?
Yeah, exactly.
I think so.
And when your body's stuck in a stress response, your nervous system's functioning in survival. When you're in a life or death situation, you're not thinking about, what's the healthiest thing for me to eat tomorrow?
Yeah.
You're thinking, I just want to survive this experience. But if every day you're living life as if you're in survival mode, you're not going to make the healthiest choices because you just want to get through the day.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Once your body releases those stresses and physiologically you're no longer in that fight or flight survival mode, you start making healthier choices. But this is where all these studies come together, starting with the one that said enjoyment is the key to overall health and longevity, and where network and chiropractic come in. And Charlie Brown says it. And it's so perfect. So Charlie Brown's with Sally there. Yeah, Sally and Charlie Brown's like this. And he's like, this is my depressed stance. Whenever you want to be depressed, it's important that you stand like this. The worst thing you could do is straighten up and hold your head high, because then you start to feel better. If you're going to get any joy out of being depressed, You gotta stand like this. So I want y'all to try it. So for a moment, just put your feet on the floor, let your shoulders come forward, let your head drop, and just bring your chest forward. So notice what happens to your breathing. Right? Notice what happens to the corners of your mouth. And how do you feel overall?
Strained.
Drained.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so get out of that. Just bring your shoulders back, lift your head up, let your chest, heart open up. What everybody just do. Take a deep breath, and you're all smiling. The position, shape, tension, and tone of your spine determines the position, shape, tone, and tension of your life. If your spine is stuck like this, you're tuned to depression, defeat, illness. If your spine is tuned to this, what does somebody like this look like?
Empowered.
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 Victorious.
Victorious. Yes.
Confident.
Mm-hmm.
So when your spine goes into tension, it pulls the spine forward. If you look at a boxer, there, right. If you look at a boxer, they stand like this. This is defense position.
Yeah.
It's the way you defend yourself, right? Physically and emotionally, because you protect your heart, right? But if you drop your arms, you see a lot of people walking around like this.
Yeah.
They're in defense posture. When your spinal cord goes into tension, it pulls your body into defense posture. So the only way you're going to be able to experience life is as a threat. That's what triggers the fight or flight response, because I got to run away or fight this thing. That's from life. That stress in your spine comes from life stress. You free up that tension out of the spine, and naturally the body moves into this posture, which is much more open, much more free. So that first study that showed key to longevity is enjoyment. It's impossible to have enjoyment when your spine's stuck like this. You help free up those old stresses, bring your spine to this, you can start enjoying life more and experience that wellness and that longevity. So it's all about getting your spine in tune. Any of you ever play a guitar?
No.
You ever have
Yes.
held a guitar or seen a
I
guitar?
know. I love guitar.
You know, it has strings on it, and you see people turning those knobs on the end because they have
Yes.
to tune it. And what that does is it changes the tension in the strings.
Wow. Yeah.
You make it looser, it gets more flat, lower. You tighten it up, it gets more sharp, higher note. And you got to get them all to the right tuning so that you get the right notes. And then when you press the different frets or you hit certain keys on the piano, you get certain notes. Now a D minor chord, a D chord is considered the happiest of chords. I don't have my guitar with me, but when you hear it, it's like,
Oh, you play
Those
with
are
the
the
that makes
ones,
sense.
remember?
it's a very bright sounding when you hear a D chord. Any symphony written in the key of D is very happy. It's very uplifting. It's funny, you change one note, just a half step down in the middle, becomes D minor.
Yeah.
It's the saddest of chords. You hear a symphony or a piece of music in the key of D minor, it is depressing. It's very, very sad. You'll cry listening to D minor music. It's one note on one string, just turned down a little bit. So what do you think changing the tension in our spinal cord and nerves and connective tissue can do? Same thing. Are you tuned to a D or are you tuned to a D minor? It's about finding what's your optimal tuning. And everybody's unique, playing their own song, right? Are there any questions?
I really got a whole different level of understanding of their physically you can't force somebody to have a better outlook if in here it's not changed. It's physically not impossible. It's like trying to make a bicycle a car. It just won't work.
And that just triggered something I wanted to share, and that reminded me of it in regards to enjoyment. One little piece. They found that if you eat a healthy, everything just right, you eat a healthy diet, and you hate it, and you don't enjoy it, it actually has a
Yes.
negative effect on your overall wellness. And you can eat a piece of chocolate cake or go to McDonald's. And if you feel no guilt or judgment about it and you really, really enjoy it, it will increase your overall health and wellness.
Wow.
That's true.
So it's not you are what you eat. It's you are how you
The
feel
judgment.
about what you eat.
Your approach.
Wow.
Your enjoyment.
That's a good one. There's so much guilt, especially women are constantly feeling guilty.
Now,
about-
if you're doing everything right, of course, if you're eating healthy, I'm not saying don't eat healthy and don't exercise, but if you don't have enjoyment in it, you're not going to get the benefit. And if your spine and nervous system are in a state of adverse tension, you're not going to get the full benefit. So find exercise you love. So that's the key. When we started this talk, I said, what's the key to health and
Yes.
wellness and longevity? It might not be what you think. Now you know what it is. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life, whatever it is. And if you're not, find a way to enjoy it. Or change it. Or change it. So I thank you all for coming. It's been great.